Unicorn Parade.
Well, all right. Welcome back to another episode of Repressed Humor Issue Season 2. I just got flipped off a lot.
Yeah, my daughter is preteen, and so she's not allowed to say fuck you or any of that sort of stuff yet. So at this point, whenever I flip her off, we call it a unicorn parade because I generally do it with two fingers bobbing up and down. So
I mean, you did teach me that today, and it is
yes.
fantastic. So I actually will steal that for the future.
That's how I knew that you would get it, but I figured since there's no visuals, they had no idea what a unicorn parade was going to be anyways, and your description of it did not do justice.
No, but they got a little cute soundbite of you going unicorn parade.
Yep, exactly.
Keep
So hey, Ryan.
Yeah. Hey, Dan.
So explain why exactly today you're semi-whole full of bull.
Open for interpretation, to be honest. I'm just feeling less of myself, but I still feel like I'm full of bullshit.
Okay. Well, first of all, stop feeling yourself. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to entertain other people, not ourselves.
But my nipples, they need rubbing.
Oh God. See, what you listeners don't realize is that I actually have to watch what goes on when he says shit like that. Okay, you because we haven't done video yet, you guys don't have to see this, but I continually have to. Now, realize the reason that I asked why he's semi-whole full of bull, some of our long-term listeners will know we can give ourselves nicknames, and we've kind of just decided that we're going to give each other try to get the worst possible shitty nicknames that we can for ourselves and then surprise the other person when we join. That's why I'm Felipe Gargonzola today, because it's the cheesiest nickname I could think of in a hurry. Yeah, you can nod, you can shake your head all you want, Ryan, but they can't see it.
I know, but it hurts so bad when you say things like that, like where you've rendered me speechless, which I know is kind of hard.
Now, what did we discover about cheese just a few minutes ago?
Ooh, that government cheese, which is the fat skimmed off of skim milk from back in the 90s, and they use it in a commercial pizza to maximize profits.
Okay, so that was the short version. What really happened was they wanted to get children drinking skim milk in the 80s. So they overproduced milk, and then they scraped all the fat off and realized we have nothing we can do with the fat. So they started incentivizing companies to make low-cost cheese by giving them the fat very cheap, which means that it made sense for restaurants and pizza chains to mass produce or mass use an awful lot of low end cheeses because it was less expensive than going and getting good cheese to put on their pizza.
Which explains why your Pizza Hut was not stringy the other day.
Yeah. But normally the pizzas that we get are stringy. But this, honestly, if you tried to tear a piece off, it just separated. It didn't string whatsoever. It was the weirdest cheese.
What was the best pizza chain? I'm like going through them all in my head. I like what Papa John's, Little Caesars.
You call it Little Caesars too.
Hell yeah.
Wow, that must be a universal thing. we called it Little Sleezers for a while too.
Wait, did you have Godfathers up where you're at?
We don't have Godfathers. We have a small little one in this area called Chanticleer that makes a really good pizza, but unfortunately, they're just too expensive now. When 3 pizzas cost you $60.
Oh,
I mean,
whoa.
Yeah.
I mean,
so we've become
Domino's, right?
Yeah, we've become a Papa John's family because Domino's has gone significantly downhill. It's
Really?
like pizza by Andreas. It's a hot circle of garbage. So
that was an Office reference. I got this.
Yes, yeah. I was just gonna run right past that and see if you noticed.
You said it wrong. It's Alfredo.
It's pizza by Alfredo.
Yeah, you said Andreas.
Oh, sorry. We work with a couple of people named Andreas. So, and believe it or not, the best pizza that I ever had, and I took you to that place on the Skyway once. That was Andrea's Pizza.
That was good. I'll give you
And
credit. Like I was very skeptical with your description of it and everything like that. How far we had to walk from the office, uh, worth every bit. I'll say
uh,
that.
so I used to know Andreas extremely well. I was in that place every day of the business week for about 6 years. So I knew more about that man than anybody ever wanted to know. But they make the best New York style. It's not cracker crust. It's true thin crust, the way New York style is supposed to be. It's greasy. The pepperoni is just perfect. It's horrible for your health, but it's great pizza.
Now we talked about this a bit too. New York styles, I think both of our favorite. We can both agree on that, which is rare, everyone, for us to agree on the same thing, especially food, but which we've covered in episode or season one. Um, but
Here's where I'm going to shatter that. I also like deep dish a lot. I can't say I prefer one over the other.
well, which deep dish?
Chicago
Chicago
style.
or Detroit?
Chicago.
Okay. You've tried Detroit though?
Yes.
All right, that was
And
going to be my
and I
question.
don't need to try Detroit again.
Hmm. Interesting. I there's a place in Austin called Via 313. Shout out to them. That does just Detroit style pizza. Fantastic.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So everybody's aware these are not ads. These are
No.
just spontaneous.
Yeah, this is just like off the top of our head, but
Yeah. But I used to do Papa Murphy's all the time, the take and bake pizzas.
yeah, we used to do that
Um,
too, but that got annoying because I got lazy.
That's the thing is you want the pizza to be ready. You don't want to have to cook it yourself. And even though it's cheaper and it's heftier and it feels like it's better quality and they just drown it in cheese, it's annoying to have to sit there and wait for the oven to get to 425, stick it in for the 22 minutes. I mean, they should just make you pay an extra $5 and they'll cook it for you and they'd sell twice as many pizzas.
Ah, yeah, I would totally do that too. I would absolutely buy it from them. Yeah, I mean, actually, that's kind of smart. Give people the option.
Yeah, don't just go one way or the other because they're also going to have pizza ovens that are going to cook it exactly perfectly. Where my oven is not a pizza oven, it's the oven that everything gets cooked in. So a pizza oven is different. So they could offer, I mean, I'd pay, they have their 7.99. I believe it's a Tuesday or Wednesday special. I'd pay 17.99 for that if they eat it up for me. I'd come pick it up. I
Wait,
mean,
side note, sorry, I know we're talking about food a lot here, but did you know Buffalo Wild Wings on I think Monday and Wednesday now has bottomless wings?
I haven't been to a B Dubs in a long time because I had my bad bite syndrome at the last time that I was at a Buffalo Wild Wings. It's really, really, really hard for me to want to go in that place.
I have been one in years to either, but then I don't. I think I walked by one just yesterday or something like that with my dog, and saw that like big bold advertisement. All you can eat like Monday and Wednesday for $20, and I was like, Jesus. You know,
They
if I
used
like as a teenager, I could have put down 100 fucking wings.
they used to at TGI Friday. They used to have unlimited appetizers. You paid like $9 and you got as many appetizers as you want. So the mozzarella sticks just ate the shit out of those.
Oh,
The I love potato skins.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. But I
when
was
I go
just gonna say that. That's awesome.
when I go to Texas Roadhouse, I am the biggest sinner of all because all I do is order the whole platter of uh, uh, potato boats. They call them there, and I tell them scrape off half of the bacon, please.
I
There's just
don't know
too
who
much
you
bacon.
are.
Yeah, there's a point where there can be too much bacon. I'm sorry, but there is a point.
I think we need to end the podcast. I feel uh, very upset right now about the bacon comment.
Well, it was nice knowing you, semi full of shit.
uh, on a different note, though, you've decided to pick up an old haunt.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill myself. Um, So I texted Ryan earlier my injury. Um, a lot of people will know I played hockey for a long time and I stopped. I figured it out. It's like 12 years ago that I stopped. It was right
Okay.
before my daughter was born. I stopped playing because work, life, everything just got too much to be able to play. But a guy that I know and I've known for a couple of years found out I was Canadian the other day and asked if I played hockey. And I told him, I stopped about a decade ago. He said, well, you should come out. And unfortunately, that was the amount of effort that it took to get the hockey bug back in me. So
You wanted to do it. Let's be real. I mean, you were a little on the fence when we initially talked about it, but then your whole mind changed within honestly, it felt like 36 hours.
I spent $750 on hockey equipment yesterday.
Holy shit.
Yes, my so here's the funny part. I already got my first injury and I haven't been on the ice yet.
I love this.
Okay, I tried on 5 pairs of skates yesterday, and if you know, hockey skates have the bigger cotton laces on them, and I managed to give myself a blister right in the joint on my pinky that I can't bend my pinky anymore. Okay, so I had my first hockey injury in 12 years, and I haven't even laced up yet. But I've been showing it to my wife all day and complaining about how I can't move it. And we had to go get gas, and I said, I'm just going to pour some gasoline in it. And she threatened to light it. So that quickly ended. Um,
Jesus, that
but
escalated.
Yeah, but I have all my old equipment. Some of it I'm not going to use because unfortunately it smells like whatever used my old hockey bag as a housing slash latrine.
That's
Um,
it's fine. That's not disgusting at all.
so here's the funny part. I've driven across the border after playing. My brother and I would play 5 games in 72 hours. Plus, if we could pick up a pickup game for a tournament we would play in. And so I would then immediately drive back to the United States. He lived in Northern Ontario, and I was living in Milwaukee at the time. So I'd put my hockey equipment in the trunk of my car, go drive across the border, and at that point they were doing full searches. So there'd be the guys with the mirrors underneath your car, and they say, "Pop your trunk." I'd pop my trunk. They would lift my trunk a little bit and immediately close it because they knew it was hockey gear, and it was rank because it was not cold enough to keep those germs from multiplying.
Oh God.
So I'm used to really rank hockey equipment. I'm used to hockey equipment that will make people gag. The urine smell, I'm not willing to go try to drown out animal urine with my sweat. I'm just not. The $750 to not be the guy on the ice smelling like cat urine or whatever was in there is worth it to me.
Fair. You know, it's odd. I've never played hockey. I've actually never even been to an NHL game in my life. I watched it on TV, don't understand it, which I'm sure it's not hard to understand, but I just haven't
I
taken the time.
think we have to end the show now. I just can't talk to you. I don't know you.
I can do.
Hoser.
You're a yoga hoser. Uh,
A yoga hoser?
isn't that a film that was directed by the guy that did Clerks?
Uh, yoga hoser?
Yeah, yoga hosers, plural, I think.
Yoga hosers 2016 horror slash comedy. It got a 26% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is directed by Kevin Smith.
Man,
And there's a sequel called The Moose Jaws.
Jesus.
And if it's anything like, I think it was called The Goon with Sean Astin Scott, it's going to be a horrible movie because The Goon was a horrible movie.
This is not what you think at all. No. I would actually. Do you like bad horror?
No, but Johnny Depp is in that movie.
It's more reason to watch it.
No, it's not. And Lily Rose Depp is in that movie.
More reason to watch it.
Wow. I am not sad that I missed the 26% rated on Rotten Tomatoes Kevin Smith flick called Yoga Hosers.
You're missing out.
I'm missing nothing. So, anyways, let's get back on track here because,
Well, what I was
you've
gonna,
played some sports.
yeah,
I've played some sports.
I was gonna say. So the smell thing reminded me of. I played a lot of football growing up. Uh, U.S. football for any international listeners.
Or
Uh,
hand egg, as I saw it called today.
Hand egg.
It's egg shaped and they carry it in their hands. It's not a football, it's a hand egg.
I mean, football has never made sense because it's like you only punt or kick field goals, so it's like it's a minimal part of the game.
So call it
Uh,
hand egg. That's what we're going to call it from now on.
ugh, doesn't have the same ring. Uh, but I distinctly remember, like, the pads. To your point, they do stink, right? And they have
Yes.
to sanitize them every year. And like playing in school, like you're getting somebody else's pads from the year before, and they're not like getting brand new ones every year or anything like that. At least my school wasn't because we didn't have the cash. But there was always, I don't even know how to describe it. There was a certain smell from certain people that just was remarkably awful, like sour mac and cheese,
Yeah.
like spoiled mac and
Asparagus.
cheese. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, there's something in there, and you're just like, how do you smell like that? Because I was, like shower and all that kind of stuff, and like rinse parts of my pads that I knew, like the ones that were removable that you could wash to get the sweat off, regardless of the temperature outside, just because I knew I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be labeled. But some people, fuck, man, like wash your shit. Just try to wash it once, please.
Well, see, I've only played beer league for the last, well, for when I played the last time because it has been a while, and nobody in beer league goes and gets their stuff sanitized. We don't care about it that much. Okay, it's not like we're playing that many times a week that we're worried about the smell rubbing off on us. So you just get used to the fact that the locker rooms just smell like somebody barfed up Indian food over and over and over again.
You're in the strangest locker room I've ever heard of. I've never had a locker room smell like burnt Indian food.
I said barfed up Indian food.
Oh, either way, that's not
Burnt
any
Indian
better.
food. Yeah, it's that's an old joke that I think it came from Anchorman where he says it smelled like uh, uh, old
Bigfoot's.
Indian food in a rotten baby diaper or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, and then it was like, it smells like Bigfoot's dick for Sex Panther. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
But yeah,
but
so what if you think back to all the different? Well, have you only played hockey?
I only played organized hockey and organized soccer. I played a lot of just guys getting together type of other sports. I never played football in high school. In Canada, it just wasn't really that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I played softball with guys on the weekends and that sort of stuff, but I was never interested in playing softball as an organized sport. Um, but mostly it was because I loved hockey so much that any other sport was just a fill in until I could play that again.
See, like, and I think about all the times that I've been injured, and then I've watched other people get injured right in front of me. Like, I think it's for me, it's I have a top three, and it's between baseball, track and field, and gotta be football for the most like unfortunate injury that I witnessed. I mean, my own injury, like in football, was career ending. Like I tore my rotator cuff 3/4 of the way through.
I
Bolt.
thought you just tore your vagina. I thought that's what happened.
I do have Vagisil for that. Thank you. Um,
See, and the most spectacular injuries that I've seen generally have involved me. I've seen a couple of bad ones in hockey with people going into boards. I've never had that, but like I had a knee injury that was bad enough that I was 15 years old, and a week after it happened, my mom finally decided that we were going into the doctor to get it looked at because I couldn't pull my pants up over my knees. So in the middle of January, I was wearing shorts
so did you
and
get
like
a
summer
torn
shorts.
meniscus or something?
I partially tore my ACL and completely tore my MCL.
Ooh.
And the fun part of that, one of the most painful moments in my life was them trying to drain the water from under my knee because they thought there was water under my kneecap. So they stick that needle in and they put no freezing in there before they do it. And it felt like the muscles on the tendons under my knee were trying to go into that little hole at the end of the needle. And at one point, I was screaming so loud that my mom came in from the lobby and asked if they were almost done because I was scaring people in the lobby with how much I was yelling.
Yeah, I didn't have anything like that. I mean, like my rotator cuff was painful. Like I was just blocking a guy in practice of all things. It was nothing spectacular. And I just heard it and it was like one of those internal noises that you can only hear yourself where it just sounded like somebody is ripping paper and I fell to the ground, just dropped. And my coach saw it because I was supposed to be playing varsity, and that was the last straw. Because I mean, I could get up, of course, but I writhed in pain for I don't know, like 10 minutes on the ground.
Okay, so you hurt your shoulder and writhed on the ground. I hurt my knee. I tore tendons in my knee, and I got up and on one skate in my stick pushed myself over to the boards. Okay. There's a difference in hockey players versus any other sport in the amount of pain we're willing to endure.
This, I think it was just because this was so dramatically different than any pain I'd ever felt. Because I'd never, up to that point, I'd never, as far as I know, broken bones or torn ligaments or anything like that. So this was like, for me, it was a first. But I do just think, ugh, I remember watching, it was like one of those moments where you're watching something in slow motion. It was like, I think it was 10 degrees outside or something like that. And we're playing some stupid Saturday game that we had to play and I didn't wear gloves. I was always barehanded when I played football. And I remember putting my hand out to like reach for the quarterback, and I just saw my player's helmet hit my finger, and then the other player's helmet smash my hand completely. Nothing broke, but everything swelled up. I had like four fat fingers. I did go back in and finish the game.
Sausage fingers, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I could beat that. My second most detrimental injury to every part of my psyche was a ping pong table injury. Yeah, Ryan just did that look like, what the fuck? And I'm going to tell you a story. Okay, it's an interesting story. Um, it involves a ping pong table and some fingers, and me ending up in the hospital again. So we hadn't used the ping pong table in the basement of my parents' house for probably about, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. So we decided to move it out to the shed. And if you know anything about freestanding ping pong tables, you can fold the sides up and they lean in towards each other so that you can move it around by pushing the bar. But we had to carry it across the lawn. So we had to lift it by those bars. So I'm carrying it behind me and my brother's carrying it in front of him. Okay, well, all I hear is look out, and I feel his side go down a little bit, and then I felt the tabletop come down and squish my fingers in between the bar and the table.
Oh God. Oh.
Okay, and now you would think that that was painful, but that wasn't nearly as painful as when I went, oh fuck, and ripped my hand out without the table coming back up.
You ripped some skin off.
So I broke my pinky in three places. I broke my ring finger in one place, and I cracked the bone in my middle finger. I lost all the skin and the nail off of my pinky, but that didn't happen. The nail didn't come off for 3 days afterwards. I lost some of the skin on my ring finger, a little bit on my middle finger, and just a tiny bit off of my index finger. Um, and so the reason this is so traumatic for me, there's two parts to this story.
It's
First of all,
traumatic for me. Jesus.
well, it gets worse. So I was supposed to go out on
Great.
a date with somebody, and my buddy Stuart was coming over with his girlfriend, and we were going to go on the date. But my brother also kind of caught his hand a little bit, not as bad as mine. So my dad was patching up his hand, and Stuart took me to the hospital, my friend. And he's in there in the room while they're looking at it, and they're saying, okay, well, we have no choice. The skin is detached, so it's dead now. We have to cut it off. So I'm sitting there, I'm partially in shock at this point. The pain's already set off, all that sort of stuff. I'm looking at her as she's slowly cutting the skin off the back of my fingers
This is the
as
worst thing we've ever recorded. I'm dying over here, but go ahead.
as Stewart is hurling his guts out over into a basket over on the other side of the room, just letting it all fly. And Stewart at that point would have been about 6'6" and about 280, 290. He had a lot to hurl with. So that they can't really do anything with it. They're not going to stitch together the back of fingers when there's no skin to stitch together. So, but they do need to x-ray it. So this is the second part that shows just how demented I am. To get to x-ray, you had to walk through the waiting room. And they had nothing on it because they can't put band-aids. They have to leave it open for the x-rays. So all I have is I'm holding a pad underneath my fingers as they're dripping blood as I'm walking through the waiting room to go to x-ray. There's a whole bunch of people in the waiting room. It's a Friday night, so everybody's doing stupid things in Sudbury at that point. So I see a whole bunch of people. What do? I turn and face them with the damaged part of my fingers directly facing everybody in the waiting room and say, they think something's wrong with it. Turn back and continue my walk.
You're so stupid.
Now, it gets actually worse. 3 days later, they told me the next day to go and have the dressing on the wounds changed. Okay, well, you have to, in Canada, you go to your family doctor to do that. And my family doctor wasn't available for 3 days. So by that point, they had a mesh and then they had cotton and gauze over top of that. The mesh, the skin had started growing in around the mesh.
Oh, fuck me.
So, so my family doctor says there's two ways we can do this. I can soak your fingers for a while, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pick off all of
Okay.
that
All
mesh.
right. All right. Too much.
Or
Too
you
much.
can just clench down on something and I'm going to rip these things off. It's going to hurt, but it's only going to hurt for a couple of seconds. So I had him on three fingers because I only had a band-aid on the other one. He rips the first two off. That's not a problem. It hurts a little bit, but I'm already desensitized from all the pain that I was already in. He grabs the pinky and it doesn't come off. And then he
Oh,
grabs the
fuck.
pinky and it doesn't come off.
Jesus
So
Christ,
we
man.
soak it for about 10 minutes and then he grabs it and says, "Hold on for all you're worth. I'm just grabbing this and ripping it." He rips it and that's when the nail came out. And my nail is still deformed to this day.
Hey, shit. What can we talk about that's not nauseating?
Okay,
Uh,
so realize I've done so much damage to my body over the years. Okay, my brother and I can't count the number of concussions that we gave each other because we've forgotten. Because we called it a GT. It was one of those sleds that had two skis on either side and then one in the middle that you could steer.
yeah.
And we had a 45-degree angled hill that was probably about 100 feet long in my parents' yard. And my brother would ice up a ramp at the bottom of it that would go nearly vertical. So you were probably going 30, 35 miles an hour if you didn't brake going down this thing. And we always were on the brake. Nobody had the guts to just let that thing fly. Till one day I just decided I'm going for it. And I flew up in the air and I kicked that GT like 30 feet away from me and landed right on the back of my head. And
There are moments when I wish this free non-alcoholic beer was alcoholic.
we all would also do this thing. Now realize I was 13, he was 10.
Jesus.
There's 3 years difference. There was a time where what we would do is we had a very hilly driveway, and the lawns on it were spread out in such a way that what we do is we would cross several lawns going on this GT, And the idea is the person standing up on the back was just trying to wreck out the entire thing, and the person without falling off, and the person on the front was just trying to wreck out the person on the back without him falling off. And there was the time that we missed the tree with the front ski, but then it hit right at the edge of the one of the side skis and tossed both of us over it. I hit just barely grazed my shoulder on the tree. My brother hit it a little bit more directly. Yeah, we were both laughing and crying on the ground after that one.
This really beats my when my babysitter's daughter pushed me into the corner of a piano when I was 5.
Well, it depends. Did they hit the keys a whole bunch of times?
No, it wasn't that.
That would have been hilarious.
Oh no, I still have the scar. Like I, it's like right here, and I had to go to
He's
the.
pointing at the back of his head because he forgets we're not on
Yeah,
video.
I always forget. But it was back when they were like, "Here's a sucker," and they just put metal staples in your head with no
Yes.
anesthesia or anything like that, or anesthetic, or whatever, no numbing.
Yep.
I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm so distracted by the hand story that you just told.
So I've got another one.
No,
Yes.
no, there's no need. You've
So
gone too far.
oh well, I've got more. The number of injuries I've given myself is significant. So we always, when I was in grade school, when it was winter, everybody brought their hockey sticks, and every recess we were going out and playing hockey in the parking lot at the school. I mean, there was a large area that was paved, but that nobody parked on. And one time, we're playing, and I get a little bit maneuvered behind somebody, and he jerks his stick back, and I put my glove up. You can see it's right beside my eye. Okay, my glove kind of covered my eye a little bit, and a guy by the name of John Porter, who I would punch out if he wasn't a cop at this point, um, he comes laughing and says, "Oh, Dan's hurt. Dan's hurt. He's gonna cry." I pulled down my glove, and he turned white because there's a tear all the way down the side, like down the part of my cheek that my glove was covering, that was just gushing blood.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
another quarter inch, and it would have went into my eye socket.
Wait, did you have to get stitches there?
They couldn't put stitches because it was too close to the eye, so they used surgical tape.
Oh, I thought maybe they did the glue.
No, no, this is God in the 70s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was
So
not that advanced yet.
yeah, but I've got a scar here. It's aged well because you get wrinkles by your eyes as you
Yeah.
get older. You
In,
should know that better than anybody, Ryan.
they're called
Uh,
crow's feet,
yeah.
asshole.
And now what he's going to do is he's going to go and into after we're done recording, he's going to go into the bathroom and check to see how bad they are.
No, I'm just going to talk to my husband and say, fix this.
So, um, but yeah, I nearly lost my eye on that one. And then I think I've talked about this one. I've talked with you at least about this one where I was playing hockey and we were on the penalty kill. So we were down a man. And when you're down a man, you can shoot the puck all the way down the ice and there's no repercussions to it.
Oh, right.
Normally that would be icing. Well, I happened to be in the line, in the path of that shot, and everybody was motioning to that side of the ice. So I literally stuck my hand out, caught the puck, dropped it on the ground, and then shot it over the other way so it would waste more time. Then went to the bench because I realized that I had done some damage to the inside of my hand because the guy that shot that could do about an 80-mile-an-hour slap shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I caught it bare hand.
Oh, you were barehanded. Oh,
Well,
strange.
I had the glove on, but the inside of the glove is just a piece of leather. There's no protection there whatsoever.
Yeah, it's so strange. Like playing baseball a lot growing up. That was the other dominant sport in my childhood. Like the dumbest shit goes through your head. You're like, you have a glove on your hand, but you're like, I'm gonna catch this fastball with my bare hand, and it just stings so fucking bad. I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't thankfully do any damage. I would rip off a callus here and there, but nothing remarkable.
Now imagine doing that with a vulcanized piece of rubber doing 80 miles an hour.
You're a vulcanized piece of rubber.
Oh, you're a brake vent.
I think the worst one. I'm just sitting here thinking about as you're talking about your hand because I still can't stop thinking about that. I just have like so many visuals that I never wanted in my head. Uh, we had a catcher, very good catcher, and our pitcher, our best pitcher, who I think we were probably 14, I would say, and he could already throw into the mid to upper 80s. Like just one of those guys. And our catcher like thought the ball hit the dirt, but it didn't. He ripped off the mask, ball right to his teeth.
Teeth always bug me. People wonder why I wear a full cage. I wear a full cage because I don't want to have to get replacement teeth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not. Yeah. So I mean, and those were his permanent teeth at that point. So he had to be ambulance on the field and all that, and had to take him. And he ended up getting veneers at age 14 or 15 or whatever it was. And it was just like, but hearing his scream, that was the
Yeah,
part. I was just like, uh.
yeah.
And they made us keep playing the game though. After they got him off the field, we had to finish the game.
Yeah, I was at a Pee Wee football game. God, this is going back 20 years, but a kid dumped the quarterback significantly on his head. Like, just basically ran straight into him. He was at least 100 pounds heavier than the quarterback and flipped this kid over on his neck. And they had to drive the ambulance on the field, and they kept playing the game afterwards. You don't stop.
Yeah, it's that's always been. I mean, I get it, but it's always been kind of a strange notion. Like, play on, play
Yeah.
for your hurt player and all that. But I get it. It's fine. I
Well,
think.
I've left the ice twice due to injury, and both of them were lower extremities. Um, the first one was the one that I talked about, where I got up and paddled my way over to the boards, and then the next whistle, I had somebody help me. I skated on one leg so that I could get down, so that somebody could, you know, do whatever they needed to do to my knee, which at that point was nothing. My dad came in, took my equipment off, and I walked to our vehicle. And the other time is going back about 15 years ago. I had somebody roll up on my ankle. And if you know anything about ankles, once you hurt it once, it never really
you're
fixes
you're
itself.
fucked for life,
I
basically.
mean, if I go down a set of stairs incorrectly, my ankle will swell.
Ooh.
Just out of nowhere, it'll just start swelling. But about 2 weeks after that, I felt I was strong enough to start skating again, and I caught an edge, and my skate twisted underneath me and threw me on the ground, and I was out for another month because my ankle was like twice the size it was supposed to
So
be.
you have to tape your ankles quite a bit then.
I don't bother.
No.
If they're going to swell, they're going to swell. I wear compression stuff. That's as much as I do for it. So my knee, I'm this time I'm going to wear a knee brace underneath my shin pads. Uh, my knee, I've gotten to the point that if I try to climb up a ladder, just the way that the ladder sits in the arch of your foot, it will lock my knee, and then I can't get down off the ladder because I can't bend my knee. So
So how
I have to
soon
wear
until
two.
we talk about you having a trip to the hospital?
Oh, I told you I only didn't finish a game or a practice or a pickup game twice, and both of them were, well, one was for my ankle, one was for my knee. So the only way I'm going to the hospital is if my knee or my ankle is bad, or the fun one, the jugular vein getting sliced by a skate.
Maybe your wife will knock sense into you as well.
Oh no, she's in this to see me get damaged.
Yeah, like track. I think I know what you talked to me about, like the skate to the jugular vein. Like that's always horrendous. I mean,
Yeah, if you
I've
want to
heard about
see
it.
If you want to see that, go look up Clint Malarchuk of the Buffalo Sabres. It was, I believe, back in the probably early 2000s. 1989. He had a skate go across his jugular vein, and they caught it on camera with the blood squirting out the side of his neck.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't need to see
Yeah.
that. I mean, I like. track to me yields the funniest injuries, I think, or like moments, because like
So first of all, track isn't a sport. Track is
well,
a hobby.
no, like I mean, like the 4x100 meter hurdles or whatever. Like,
That's a hobby. That's not a sport.
but people get gold medals in that. I mean,
Yeah, but people get gold medals in ballroom dancing too, and that's not a sport.
yeah, I don't get that one. I'm with you
Uh,
there. I'm with you there. But I love, especially like this is the sadistic side of me. I loved going to those meets and like really watching the other schools where the kids had to go up in height and they hadn't really practiced the new height, and watching them trip over every goddamn hurdle or
yeah.
watch it slap them right in the face, and you're just like, yeah, that's good. That's good shit. Like that's
Well,
comedy gold.
well, my favorite one of those has nothing to do with the sport. Um, this is also going back about 20, 22 years ago. I was doing work with a general contractor, and we were going to put a small little enclosure around an AC unit. It was at a cheese factory of all things. And so we're nailing it together with a nail gun. And I was trying to steady this one board that was going into the footer, okay, so that he could nail it in. And all I hear is, ouch. It's like, what's going on? And I look back and he's nailed two of his fingers together.
How the fuck do you do that?
When he went to go hit the nail on the board to make it shoot, it actually curved and went through his fingers, nailed his two fingers together. Now, I did not go to the hospital for that one because imagine what you have to do to take that back out.
I can only fathom.
Because it's not like you could just take a hammer and use the claw to twist that out because the bones on the fingers are not going to support that kind of torque. So at some point, they had to take like a pair of pliers or something like that and force his fingers off of the nail. Yep.
Hmm.
Back at work the next day.
I get,
More finger stuff. I've got another one. I told you about this one earlier. Same contractor I was
if
working
it,
for,
does it involve bones again?
almost.
Oh god damn it! I can't handle this.
So
Anything with bones is just like it's too much. It's so gross to me. Oh god.
So I'm carrying a piece of roofing steel. Okay, if you've ever been up on
Oh, you
top of
did
a
tell me about
barn,
this. Yeah.
yeah, they put steel up on top over years and years. You pound down the veins, all that sort of stuff, because it's just cheaper to put more on than to try to pry what's there off and put shingles back on.
Fair.
So I'm carrying some of that from inside the barn to outside the barn, and as I'm walking it outside, a gust of wind catches it. It catches on the door jamb, and my left hand, which was on the bottom, slides along the steel. I look at my fingers and I see two white lines, and I thought, oh, I got away with just a scratch. No big deal. I put my hand down and I felt the gush. Then I put my hand back up and realized there's a ton of blood coming out of my fingers. And I still have two very faint white lines across my fingerprints from that incident. I mean, this is the thing. How much more damage could I do to myself just by going and playing hockey again?
Uh, Based on your previous injuries, not as much. I think you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
It's gonna turn out well.
The hardest part, this is why I played soccer, was to keep my wind, to keep my energy and my breathing for hockey season. That's the only reason I played soccer as a kid. Because the where I grew up, there was no summer hockey. They just didn't have it. They couldn't keep the arenas open in the summer, so they just used them for. There wasn't even roller hockey at that point. You just played floor hockey on it. So I played soccer to keep my wind. I haven't kept my wind in the last 12 years. So I'm going to go out there. I'm going to skate one way down the ice. The rest of the shift that I'm on is going to keep skating, and I'm going to crawl back to the bench. And I'm one of those guys, hockey players just do this. we jump over the boards. We don't open up the door and go out. We always jump. It's just easier. I'm going to be using the door for at least the first 2 or 3 times that I play.
I can't get over your finger stuff. I'm trying. I'm really trying. Trying.
Oh,
Trying.
I've got damage on my other knee too from when I was a kid playing at school again, where I fell on a rock, tore my knee open, and with no freezing whatsoever, that same doctor that ripped off my fingernail sewed my knee closed.
I mean, like it's just amazing because like I don't have this many like traumatic injuries. Thankfully, like my injuries were all kind of superficial and kept me. I wasn't in the hospital a lot. I mean, my one fluke thing that it's such a bitch thing too. I'm gonna say I advertise up front. This is a very shitty pussy little thing. Uh, my cat was in a fight with another cat, but through a screen, like in a window. And I broke up the fight foolishly with my cat, and my cat reached around and bit my wrist. You can't see it, but like right where you should be cutting if you're going that direction. Uh,
Yep. Remember, down the lane, not across the street.
yeah, exactly. So it's definitely got me there. But what I didn't know about cat saliva is if it gets into your bloodstream, it can actually temporarily kind of paralyze you. And so I couldn't move my wrist at all. It was just frozen right there. And I had to get my mom freaked out, took me to the ER for a cat bite. I have never been made fun of by a nurse before until that moment.
There's a pussy joke in there, definitely.
Oh yeah, there's also a limp wrist joke in there, but you know, hey.
Well, we know what your name is going to be next week. Limp wristed pussy. I mean,
Uh,
if you're going to lob the ball directly over the center of the plate at 60 miles an hour, it's not my fault that I'm going to hit it out of the park. It's your fault.
when it when your head when it gets wait, what is that thing from Three Ninjas? When it gets as a big as a melon, swing. Anyway.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't want to know what you're talking about. I know that you're right now going through some form of diabetic issue based off the message that you just said that we need to eat, we need to leave early because I need to eat because I'm exceptionally hungry right now.
That's not what I said. I said I keep thinking about finger meat.
Oh, I just thought quickly. Finger meat made you hungry? Oh,
Finger
you
meat.
did say that. Let's wrap this one soon. I am very hungry after all this talk of finger meat.
I told you.
Finger meat.
That could be your nickname for next week is finger meat. But
Finger meat. Yes.
no, one thing I was just thinking of. Oh, it's gone. Nope, it's back. So I know track and field. Sure, it can make fun of that, but I think the one thing that I witnessed. So I had to go to a lot of track meets, and they make you travel to every single one. And every single one seems like an eternity to go to. We had one pole vaulter, and that could do the pole vault relatively well, and he was gonna probably be state champion if he kept at it until the moment he ended his possibility of being a father.
Okay.
Yeah, he goes up and over successfully. The pole, instead of going back, went forward, and he caught it immediately on his junk. Guy had to go
And
to.
it's still in the trap.
He had to
Still in the game.
go. Oh, he dislodged a testicle, and yeah,
Yeah.
like it was bad news bears, and we we're all there cheering him on because it was like for the state championship, and that's like this is how you ended your career in pole vaulting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, they do kind of deserve to get whatever happens to them because there's no value in pole vaulting at any point in your life. How many times are you going to be in a situation where you have a long, springy pole and need to get over a 6 foot wall, and there just happens to be a perfectly placed gate to trap the end of the pole in for you to fling yourself over. And there happened to be a mattress on the other side for you to land on so you don't wreck your shit on the other side.
You know, when
How
you
many times in real life is that going to happen? I've batted stuff out of the air. Okay, I've caught stuff. I've skated long distances. Okay, just for plenty of reasons. I used to do a lot of long distance stuff. Those are all reusable skills. How even like the hammer throw and stuff like that, that's reusable skills. When are you ever going to learn the skills you learn in pole vaulting?
I'm just trying to think of anything. Maybe, and even if you're a fireman, I don't think it's applicable.
You're not going to jump into a burning building with a long, flexible pole.
Here we go.
That's just not going to happen.
Fair. I guess I don't know. Now I'm rethinking a lot of different track sports.
Yeah, like I could see hurdles, you learn to jump over stuff. Okay, you
Sure.
might use that,
High
especially if you're a
jump, long jump,
criminal and
that would all work. Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Running, that's
the
applicable.
discus is just inside the hand frisbee. I mean, that's you learn valuable skills out of that.
Shot put.
Um,
Hmm,
shot put, yeah, well, you learn to throw things. I
yeah.
throw things all the time.
Javelin, that's a good one.
Yeah, I'd love to do javelin because just the sheer panic of the person that's downfield as they're trying to figure out where exactly that javelin's going to go so that it doesn't stick in their leg or something like that. I mean, could you imagine the terror those people go through
I
on a
was
regular basis?
Well, and like back in high school and middle school, it wasn't like they were hiring professional refs to check this stuff. It was a parent or a grandparent that was like, "Yeah, I'll go measure." Sure.
Yeah.
They don't know anything about like the physics behind a javelin coming at them. Most likely, I don't want to take away the fact that they could be a physicist, but that's hard to say. Physicist.
No, it's not hard to say physicist.
Right.
So here's another useless sport: the hop, skip, and jump. How many times are you going to specifically hop, then
Wait,
skip, then jump
what's the
in
hop
your lifetime?
skip? What's the hop skip jump? I don't know. What in
That
track?
is in track, yeah. You
Oh,
have to
are
start with a hop.
you're talking about the triple jump.
It's a hop, skip, jump.
No one calls it that.
You have to hop, then skip, then jump in that order.
But they don't call it that.
But the point is, when in your life are you going to hop and then say, oh, I need to skip next? And then after landing the skip, think, ooh, jump time.
When the kid does the chalk thing and hopscotch, but that's just hopping though.
Okay, stop trying to make it seem like there's a good answer for this. There's
I'm just
no good
trying to
answer.
find an answer. Yes.
You're not going to be able to resurrect it. I mean, there even curling teaches you stuff. It teaches you how to sweep.
Yeah. My friend in Denmark actually is on or trying out for the national curling team.
I I love curling. I haven't done it in 2 decades.
Oh, I've never played it. Is it fun?
Oh, it's realize that the professional curling that you see is amazing. The guys going down and playing curling on a Saturday afternoon is just a total shit show. I mean,
It's just
we have
got to be a beer league.
yeah, it's equivalent to a beer league, but my favorite part was one of the guys just lifted the rock and then set it down and cracked all the ice around him. I mean, there's nothing you can do. You have a giant rock, you slam it on the ground, it's going to break the ice. That was
Oh.
the that run was done for like 2 weeks until they
Yeah, they
could
probably.
refreeze.
Yeah, they was gonna say they have to refreeze the whole thing.
But they have to get it flat. That's the thing. And I've seen people wreck out on that too because realize you have one shoe that has grip and one shoe that's for sliding. But if you forget which one is which, you do yourself some damage.
Who in their right mind, like I know nothing about the history of it, but that was like, yeah, we need to make a slippery shoe and a grippy shoe and make them sweep, and we're gonna push a rock.
I'm sure it just evolved out of they realized when you're pushing the rock, um, It's first, second. I can't even remember the terminology now, but when you're actually launching the rock, you want to slide for a fair amount of distance so that you can be adjusting how much weight you're going to put into it and the spin you're going to put onto it. And so sliding is a significant advantage. Same as if you can plant one foot to slide and just push yourself along with the other one while you're sweeping, you're kind of like a moving tripod, but you don't ever have to lift that foot. Now, when you accidentally start on the wrong foot, you face plant. There's just no way around it. You get all grip and you go over. So I've never done that. That's
I've
the one
never
injury that I don't have.
I've never played it, so I'm always curious and intrigued, but where the
But it's
fuck
either that or people that don't get out of the way when a rock is going to hit another rock and they catch their foot in it.
Ooh. Because those things are very heavy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Now realize it's not going fast enough that it's going to shatter bones. It's going to make everything swell because you've compressed it. You're going to get some swelling out of it, but it's still, you're not walking on that leg to get out of that curling arena. You're just not.
Maybe they'll have the life alert sound bite happen. I've fallen and I can't get up. Anyway,
Oh, you can't make a joke and you can't make it funny.
that was a funny one. It sounded
No,
funny.
it wasn't.
It sounded funny coming out of my mouth. But
Oh, that's what she said.
you're stupid. Ah,
Ryan, get us out of this hellhole that we're in
yeah.
this episode.
My God, we're in a
You've
shithole.
got some finger meat to go eat.
I need to go eat some finger meat. But thank you all for joining us, listening. As always, if you have any ideas, feedback, please send them our way. repressedhumorissues@gmail.com.
We're still waiting for more ideas on Ryan's forehead tattoo.
Oh, that's right. It was a stupid forehead tattoo. I was thinking it was a chin tattoo for some reason. I don't know
No, it's
why.
a forehead tattoo. We've got some ideas. I know there's better ideas out there. Send your ideas for the stupidest tattoo Ryan could get on his forehead, and I will make it happen.
And I don't know how you're going to make that happen. It is my forehead.
I know how to get a hold of your husband.
He has to sign off on this stuff. It's not going to. Anyway, you can find all of our episodes, links, socials, etc. at repressedhumorissues.com. Until next time, I'm Ryan.
I'm finger meat.
God damn it. Anyway, thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next time. Your finger meat. What the fuck is that?
You came up with finger meat. I didn't. You wrote it into the chat.
I didn't want to. I didn't intend on it rising to the occasion and being a feature. I mean, like,
what about what we've done makes you think that something as stupid as that isn't going to become part of the show if you give me the opportunity to?
all that's going to happen next time is I'm going to go to some fucking restaurant, order goddamn chicken tenders, and be like, give me the finger meat, and be like, sorry, I'm damaged.
I just want the first time now that you go to eat a bite into a chicken finger, and all you can think of is finger meat.
I mean, you have some fucking horrific stories, man. Like, there's no way I was going to come back from that. That one was just, wow.
Yeah.